welcome back to the channel. My name's Johnny Lee. This is that long note in Parisienne Walkways by Gary Moore. And I'm going to show you how I did it on the Line 6 Helix Stadium. This is the Tone Deaf Guitar Lab. All right, welcome back. I hope you're well. This is a preset that I had to make for somebody a couple of days ago. He's basically said, look, I've got a stadium. How do I get the feedbacker to do that long note? Because Gary Moore does that really long note in Parisienne Walkways, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And how he does that is when he does sound check, he will go to the point in the stage where he gets the most feedback from the feedback gods. Joe Satriani does it, Steve Vai does it, and I've also seen Nuno Betancourt do it as well. Finding that little sweet spot on the stage and getting the feedback. Well, you can stand there and look like a fucking rock god with your hair blowing in the wind. Not that I've got any hair. So, obviously, these days we can't really do that. There's a lot of digital modelers, a lot of in-ear monitors and silent stages. And, you know, me and you, we're not Gary Moore, we're not Joe Satriani, and we're definitely not Steve Vai or Nuno Betancourt. And we don't have that kind of, like, rig, you know what I mean? So, and you've got a digital modeler. It's just not going to happen, is it? So I'll quickly run through how I've done it. So first of all, I should say as well, there's a million different ways of doing this. Okay, this isn't the only way. There's countless other different ways to do it. So before anybody jumps in the comments and tells me that I'm wrong, go and suck a beach full of dick fish. So at the beginning of the preset, I've got a compressor, which actually I'm kind of liking a little bit at the minute. I've got the feedbacker with its settings to get that nose. I've got the Minotaur, the Soldano, the cab. Also, on top of that, I've then got a crisscross delay. I know Gary Moore wasn't really a huge delay user. He was kind of more reverb than he was delay. And then there's two reverbs at the end of the chain. And the tile reverb is got a really kind of high decay. So that's kind of catching that even more and just helping it kind of, you know, push along. Now, disclaimer. There's a little bit of a technique to getting this right, okay? So don't think that all of a sudden if you stand on that magic feedbacker button, the note's just going to appear out of nowhere. You've got to be pretty technically switched on to get it, okay? So what I mean by that is, if your timing is wrong, and then you start bending the note, it's all going to go to shit. But obviously, there's a bit of a technique to getting it, okay? So make sure that bend and the timing of your foot hitting that feedbacker, it's all got to be coordinated. Otherwise, it's going to be an absolute shit show. And you're golden, okay? I found that when we were playing around with it the other day that there's a little bit of a technique, and again, you'll have to work on that bit yourself, of when you want to keep that note going a little bit longer. Again, if you take your foot off the feedbacker while the note is already bent, and then put your foot back on the feedbacker, it should really just kind of keep picking it up and pushing it forward, and it should be fine. But again, it takes a little bit of practice to get it. And again, disclaimer, there's a million ways of doing this kind of thing. This was just constructed in the way that was easier for him, okay? So it's not like I am right and you are wrong. You want to figure out another way to do it, then fucking do it. You know, like I've said before, I'm not your real dad. Go to your room. I'll be in a minute with a fucking slipper. All right, as always, the link for this is down below in the description. I appreciate you being here. This is a free preset. Yeah, it's a freebie. It's an absolute freebie. So enjoy. Just hit subscribe and leave a nice comment. All right, take it easy. See you on the next one. Bye then.